Okay, this is Carl Bissonette with another episode of Tips and Tricks. We have this new horse. We've been round pinning him. We have a good week and a half of that. We are going to work on attempting to get him saddled up today. This is probably, my best guess is going to be a two-part little series. I pre-apologize for the wind. Welcome to Ellensburg. And we'll try to kind of condense it as much as we can. But we'll run through the process. He's never been saddled as far as I know. I'm going to show you the first step. We'll probably cut the video there, and then we'll show you what the second step looks like for me with him, and then we'll go from there. So we'll go ahead, we'll get him gathered up and start putting some of this together. So one of my first steps that I will do with getting a horse used to this cinch is I'm going to start out with just the cinch. So before I get to this step, I want to kind of introduce the lead rope, being able to go over him. I want to be able to touch him out here, get him so he's okay with that. We'll try to set him up a little bit better here. There you go. And then when I move to the cinch, I have just a cinch here with a latigo. We'll use this in a combination with the neck rope so it doesn't run off too bad. And we'll kind of introduce how I go through that. Again, I have this cheap little coat hanger hook. This will kind of make my life a little bit easier, and we'll explain what we're going to do with that as well. So I'm going to start off with nice and easily introducing this to him. I'm going to keep it fairly high up on the wither and just let it hang out there. I'm going to take another one of my neck ropes here, introduce this to his neck, get this wrapped around here, and for the half a second here, I'm just going to tie a overhand knot in it. Now what this is going to do, this is what we're going to run that latigo through, and this is what's going to prevent that cinch from running back on him. Okay, so we run the latigo there. It's kind of like a breast collar feel, so kind of helps them out there. Now I'm going to take my hook. When it's the first time, you know, we don't want to bang them with it. We want to go kind of easy. We're going to grab this cinch, and what this hook does is it allows me to not have to get into a bad position. Okay, now the very first time I introduce that, I want to be ready here. Sometimes a horse will bite, so I got to be ready to block here. And sometimes they're kind of not used to that pressure, so what I'm going to do is just start off right here, introducing that pressure, releasing, introduce the pressure, release. Now the first time here, I don't want to go too tight, but I don't want to go too loose either where it's slapping, so I just kind of find that first little notch. From here, gather up my supplies here, gonna move them out. I've introduced the cinch to him a couple times already, so he's somewhat used to that. This is where the saddle's going to go. This allows him to get used to that before we go to the saddle. Our plan is to make it to the saddle today. That neck rope, as you can see as he's coming around there, that prevents the cinch from going back into the flank. We'll get there where we're desensitizing everything, but for right now, we want it to kind of mimic the saddle / that neck rope's going to be kind of mimicking the breast collar. So we're going to just wait until he kind of chills out here, relaxes those lips a little bit, smooths that gait down. There we go. I like that. I like when I'm round pinning a horse, I really like having them there at that trot. That's where they're going to be doing the most thinking. When they're running away, that's a sign of being fearful. When they move into that trot, that's a sign of them accepting what's going on. So this would be my step number 1. Good boy.